Hello, and welcome to Views number 3. Last we talked, it was before the holiday season, and I was being like, yo, I'm taking a break from freaking out about writing Tiny Tree so that it can be a better book. Good news, it is becoming a better book. I'm about 40,000 words in. The first chunk, I figure this is Act 1 of like 3. That chunk has gone off to my alpha readers. I was kind of nervous about this book. I tend to get nervous and like convinced that books are garbage with every book. uh, this one is just like a little different than some of the others in the past. Like in both Polar, in really all 3 of the first Shades of Sanctuary books, they are a road trip book. And so there's kind of a very clear journey and destination where like you kind of expect the book to be done around that same time. And so it was very easy for me to map out, okay, this entire story happens during this period of time. Which I suppose Tiny Tree kind of has in the form of Dahlia's pregnancy, because it is a surprise pregnancy book. But that means first we have to get to the pregnancy, and then, and here's the real kicker, we have to get through the whole pregnancy in the book. So also, you may or may not hear things happening in the background. Oshire Jr. is home from school, and he lives here too. So he's playing video games. So if you hear noises in the background, that's why. So basically, I was just getting nervous because I'm 40,000 words in, and we've just hit the end of Act 1, which would put this on track to be my longest book ever. Which isn't exactly a problem, except for the fact that I gave myself this like made up release date that I was shooting for, which was like May, June. We will see. I'm the kind of person, the kind of writer that when I encounter a problem with the story, it just stops me dead in my tracks. You might have heard me speak about this before or write about this before, but it really throws off my process. And I just cannot move forward until I fix the problem. I'm also the kind of person that really needs to talk things out. Maybe, hence my Viewsletter, why it's easier for me to speak to you guys instead of write. Because when I write, I'm so used to it not being me, Cassie, the human, and instead it is my author voice that comes out when I write. And sometimes when I write, as I speak, I think I sound dumb. Mostly because I say like a lot, because I grew up in Las Vegas, and we just say like a lot. So, I have been struggling a little bit this past week. I kind of got to the end of Act 1. I wrote that. I sent it off to my alphas. I was able to write another scene. And then I kind of started like floundering because the next part of the book is, I think, a little too amorphous, a little too ethereal right now, and I need to figure it out a little bit more concretely. Like, I have ideas, things that I want to happen, a vague idea of the pattern, excuse me, that I want them to happen in, but some vague, hard to put my finger on thing is still not 100% clicking. And so I'm figuring that out. to kind of complicate matters, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to tell you guys about something. To complicate matters, I'm going to a signing this next, in a week, essentially, Romanticon in LA. And I am very excited. Just in general, I get to hang out with some of my very good friends. I get to meet a bunch of my readers that I haven't, a lot of them, ever had the opportunity to meet yet, because I've mostly stayed kind of on the East Coast because that's where I live and that's where it's cheap to get to. But I got invited to Romanticon, and I'm going this next weekend, and here's what I am so excited about. Okay, you guys may have heard me talk about my love for Ella Enchanted. This is a book by Gail Carson Levine. I am admittedly so bad at like knowing authors. I'm bad at like all famous-y people. And so I could not tell you who wrote Ella Enchanted to save my life before like 2 days ago. And then 2 days ago, Mallory Dunlin, who is also attending, and I were talking, and she mentioned that she got tickets, and that Gail Carson Levine was one of the ticketed authors. And I was like, oh, cool. I have no idea who that is. And then she mentioned that she's bringing another person's copy of Ella Enchanted to have her sign it. And I was like, slam on the brakes. I'm sorry. The lady that wrote Ella Enchanted is going to be there. The lady that wrote the book that I have potentially read more than any other book on the face of the planet is going to be there. Like, if you look, my friggin', like, it is taped to hold this thing together. It's like so rough. Like, some of the pages are really struggling. This version is copyright 97. I don't know when this printing was. But so I got tickets to get her to sign it to, this is 98 when this one was printed. And I'm just so excited. You can see, I just saw, like, can you see, like, the pages are dog-eared a little bit? Please. No, you can't really tell. On camera, at least. But this book, if you've read any of the Sanctuary books, I think you're not shocked that Ella Enchanted was, like, one of my favorite books of all time. Definitely foundational. I still, to this day, cry when I'm reading it. I'm an author. When I read it, I still cry. And so I'm really, really excited to meet her and have her sign my book. I'm so excited. And then 2 weeks after Romanticon, which is terrifying how close they are together, I'm going to Shadows and Seduction in New Orleans. And having these two signings so close together is really doing a number on me. It's really, really difficult for me to think about anything other than, like, what am I packing? What do I need to remember? I have this, like, whole list that's color-coded based on what bags I think things are going to go into. My PA, Amanda, is very proud of me. But it's kind of all-consuming. And it's been really hard for me to write Tiny Tree as a result. And that's kind of just is what it is, and I need to let it be what it's going to be. I think once I go to Romanticon, I think maybe even, like, potentially on the plane, I'll be fine and be able to write again. But until that point, I think I'm going to be real stressed. Um, so I'm stressing, but I know it's going to be a really good time. I'm really excited. Um, I think I already said that 25,000 times. Um, but until I go, I'm probably going to struggle with writing, which gives me plenty of time to think, which I am the kind of author that I really, really need to like have time to think about stuff. Um, so this will give me time to do that. A couple of people also asked me um, what me having an agent means now. Um, so basically, me having an agent means that there is someone who it's her job for me and other people, her other clients, to find opportunities. So for right now, the major opportunities that we're looking for are for my backlist, my published books, to get them translated into other languages, or audiobook deals for the ones that don't have audiobooks yet, things like that. Um, and for her to be able to, I'm sorry, I just got something in my eye. Um, for her to help me navigate licensing inquiries. So, like, if a book box wants to do my book, or or things like that, she can help me read over the contracts, help me negotiate, things like that. Longer term, we are looking at taking certain books to submission for traditional publishing. So we have a couple books that we are thinking about doing that with. And the way that we're going to do that is like, so for example, I don't think I'm not allowed to tell people if we're going to take a book on submission. So Guardian, which I have spoken about before, which is the kind of penultimate book of all of the things that are happening within the Sanctuary universe. It's where everything is going. It is a little bit more of a traditional romantasy. There are still monsters in it, but like, y'all, we're going to be like a little bit quiet about it, okay? Because they're a little bit of a catfish, is all I will say. Is like, it still takes place in the same Sanctuary world. So like, you and me, we will know that we're going to be fucking monsters. But like, maybe we're going to trick some of the other romantasy kids into coming to the monster side with this book. But so we might take that book to submission. So I have an editing spot this summer where we'll do a dev edit on it to get it into a good place that then we could potentially take to submission. We also are considering taking Bear Survival on submission, which was my gargoyles inspired alien romance that is essentially naked and afraid in space. You might have read it on my Patreon or in an anthology before. I'm gonna yawn again. I'm so sorry. But we really only read like the first third of it. So I'm going to complete it, and then we are considering taking that on submission. So basically what that means is that we won't see those books published indie for a little bit. If they don't do anything on submission, then I will publish them independently, and it'll be great because I'll have a book that's essentially ready to go. And then in the meantime, I'm obviously working on Tiny Tree. I have one secret project co-write that's not with Emily. So we do plan on doing He Sees You When You're Sleeping too. But that's probably slated for like Christmas 2027, not Christmas 2026. Because we both wanted to be able to do our own stuff the latter half of this year. So I have Tiny Tree. I then have this secret co-write coming up that's probably going to be straight to Kickstarter, which will be really cool and I'm really excited about. And then at the end of the year, I'm going to see where I am. So at the end of the year, I might be working on Sanctuary 5, which is characters that we will meet during Tiny Tree. I might also potentially work on the Untitled Orc series that I've talked about in the past. I also have, you guys might remember that at one point Ellie Eldridge and I were working on a co-write called The Reaper's Gate. I still have the cover for that. That's kind of, when we decided that we weren't going to work on it anymore, we just split things up that we had been working on together, and I retained the cover. So I still have the Reaper's Gate kind of on the back burner that I could potentially do something with at some point. So we'll see. Transparently, He Sees You When You're Sleeping has really made me think, kind of a combination, actually. Gaming with the Gargoyle, Bear Survival, and He Sees You When You're Sleeping were all in some ways way easier to write than a Sanctuary book. I'm sorry if I've talked about this 25 million times, but basically it's way easier because I don't have to tell you what a cell phone is. Like, we both know what a cell phone is, and I don't have to think as critically about the words that I'm using and wondering if they are historically accurate or not. Wondering if they're too obscure or not. Like, when we get into town stuff in the Sanctuary books, like, I don't know if you guys know what a phaeton is. It's a type of carriage that, like, historical romance readers will probably know what it is, but everybody else probably won't. And so I need to like think critically. Today I squirreled off on like, oh shit, these are gas lamp books, which means these lamps in houses have gas that is powering them. How the fuck are the people in Sanctuary getting gas? And then, you guys, this blew my mind. I did not know this, but the gas that they used in gas lamps, look at it. It kind of looks like it could be a gas lamp. It's not. But it wasn't natural gas. I had no idea. I just did the research. It's not natural gas. It's coal gas. So this morning I squirreled away to figure out, like, how does that work? Where does it come from? What are we lighting our houses with in Sanctuary? I don't have to do that in books that are set in a contemporary setting. And frankly, those three books just, less so Bear Survival, but Gargoyle and He Sees You did really, really well. And they're like faster for me to write. So I'm trying to figure out, like, what should I be doing that? Is that where I should be putting my focus versus on the books set on Timoned, which is the Sanctuary world, which are kind of the books of my heart. They're the things that I really care about, but also maybe they're not the things that other people really care about, or like not the things that are going to be commercially viable. Anyway, I'm thinking a lot about where I'm going in the future, what I'm going to be doing this autumn, essentially. I'm not abandoning Sanctuary books in any way, shape, or form because I really, really love them. And like I said, they're the books of my heart. And Guardian is where I want to go with my author career. But I do, it's kind of a push and pull because every time I write a book, like gaming and like He Sees You, I potentially acquire readers that don't want to read any of my romantasy books. So it's something that I'm trying to think critically about. I really enjoy writing both, and so I'm going to try to find a balance of both and having both moving forward. I think that's everything I had to tell you guys. I'm sorry, this one looks like it's like 21 minutes long, which is bananas. And I'm really sorry. If you are going to be in LA or New Orleans, I'm so excited to see you. I have a new like backdrop that's going to be behind me that's going to be really cute because I realized I couldn't travel with my big huge standee of the three guys, so I got them as a backdrop that we can pose with instead. It's really, really beautiful, and I am so excited to see you guys. And I would love to be able to meet all of you guys. I'm trying to think critically for 2027 about where I'm going and see if I can get some places that I haven't been able to before. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys so much. If you got this far, like, damn, I love you so bad. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.